Guapo.
For those who have just kind of hopped on board, hello and thank you for being here. Just a little bit about our property. It historically was a gold mining area, and we live near the creek. We can hear the creek running when it's really running. It's pretty close to us. It's just one property over and our property backs onto it. So all these rocks that we're dealing with was actually from years ago when they pretty much turned the creek upside down to do their sluicing and gold mining, I guess. So we have creek bed all through our property, and it's just, I guess it's just something we have to deal with. But we don't have that beautiful, nice soil like they have over on Garden Answer, which sometimes we just sit there and we just think, oh, we wish it could be like that. You just, dig a nice hole and this nice soil pops out, but no. The soil itself here isn't too bad, but actually using it is a lot of prep work. So now what we're going to do is I bought a heap of diosma, which I love to use as foliage. So we're going to plan that out to plant it. Hello.
Hello.
So here they are, they've all fallen over. But this stuff,
They're pretty little.
it makes such beautiful foliage. And I've got a big one in here. It's gone kind of wild. It's like all throughout here. But it just has the prettiest wispy leaves, and it holds for ages and ages and ages in a bouquet. We've got 8, and we've noticed that around here they do better in the shade, well, part shade. The one I've got, the really big one, it's actually in full shade. So, well, it would get dappled, very dappled light. So we're putting it in this area.
Can I do some art?
Yeah, we're putting it in this area. So it's got a pretty big canopy over it. It's, I don't know, there's not a lot of things that are useful to us that we can grow in here, but we're going to pop these in here. So we've got the string line out, we've got them lined up. Kind of had this idea at the last minute though, right near this big tree, to just space this one a little bit different, because we'll put some steps down into there, which will be handy, because otherwise you've got to walk all the way up there or all the way up the other side to get down through there. Ooh, real quick, I'm going to show you the progress on the shed, which is the flower shed. We refer to it to many things: shed, flower shed, studio, whatever. I'll show you. Okay, so progress on the plastering is still the same, and I decided to redo all of the insulation. In Australia, the northern sun is the sun that hits that side of the building. So the northern wall is going to get sun on it all the time. So I wanted to insulate that. We have the big window there that in the future, if this isn't a flower shed, it's going to let some warmth in and warm up the slab for us, for some thermal energy, heating, whatever you want to call it. But for the flower shed, I'm actually going to have heavy blockout curtains over that, because we don't actually want it to get hot in here. And this big western window, terrible place to have a window. It is double glazed, and I'm putting the extra insulation in that wall, so it's really well insulated. I also have to go up and insulate up in those gaps. So in the future, way in the future, if we ever get to do an extension, this will one day become our master bedroom. It will join up with the other house. There'll be a building between that's the kitchen and lounge and dining. So that's the very long-term plan, which we hope we get to do one day. So I'm kind of doing all of this with that in mind, that in the future this becomes the master bedroom. So I have to be careful how I think of things. But that's where we're up to, and it's getting exciting. If I can just get cracking on that. Oh, we also got the locksmith in, he's fixed all the locks, so that is good too. So let's head over to the veggie patch. Alright, the seed tunnel is pulled up, but if you go back a few videos to where we built the low tunnel, showed us how to do that, and I had all that grass and stuff under here. So here it is, I have to dig it over. There's still a fair bit of living grass in it, and I suspect with our type of grass, because it's cooch, I suspect what has happened is runners from out here where the sun hits it have gone in and under. So they're actually being kept alive by the pieces of grass that they're connected to out here. It's just one of those things we have to deal with in this area. We're just constantly pulling runners of grass out of garden beds. It's just almost unavoidable. But I'm going to dig this over. We're going to have a look at how the soil looks. Okay, let's have a go. The soil's really nice. So what I will do later, we're going to whippersnip all the edges, tidy it all up. I'm going to turn all that over, put some horse manure through it, which again is going to produce weeds, but we just keep on top of it and pull it out. Put the horse manure through, and then that is going to be our tomato and chilies. And we've set this up over here. So this is now our seed starting area. The hoops are on it. This is the exact same setup as if you watch the video when I did on there, except this time it's just on the ground. So you just lay your black plastic down and you hammer your stakes in, and then you put your hoops over. So we put the hoops on it because if something happens and the weather turns dramatic, we're set up, we just run out. We either put we can put a plastic cover on it, we can put bird net on it. It's just ready to go if we have to protect the seeds. It's not a huge ordeal. We've got the rolls of stuff in the shed, we just grab one and we put it on. If you've been following along, the Lisianthus all died. I got sick of looking after it. I know that sounds really bad, but I only did 2 trays of it. If I was going to put that much effort and time into growing Lisianthus, I really need to do about 12 trays. So for anybody looking at growing Lisianthus, be very prepared to spend a lot of time raising the seeds. For one, you're probably going to need a heat mat for that. And then you're going to spend a lot of time looking after the things. They just take so long. I would not recommend using these little plug trays unless you're going to water them all the time. We've got some automated system. That's why we use these trays like this. And all our plants have been fine. We plant them out before they get too big. The cosmos is getting pretty big now. And it's fine. These ones, I lost most of my billy buttons as well. That's all that's left. I've got about 10 left because they just dry out too quick. Look. They're just tiny. Okay, so my eucalyptus, I've got a few, not many. That was not a good outcome either. Marigolds, we've got to get those out. I don't even know what these are. Moroni planted these. They might be icamas or tomatillos, I don't know. I think it's a vegetable thing. Cosmos. So we've got the 2 basils, and I'm in 2 minds about this. I've got cinnamon basil and, was it lemon basil? Cinnamon and, I've got the tag up there. Yes, lemon basil. People are saying that it wilts until it starts to go to flower. And I grew it last year. It's a really long time to wait for basil to go to flower so you can use it as foliage. And I'm just not sure it's worth it, to be honest. I don't really want to sacrifice 2 rows out there to just let something sit in the ground for that long as an experiment. So what I've decided is to scrap that. We're going to use Lady's Mantle as the foliage out there and the Cosmos foliage. And we've got other stuff, but they're the main ones I think we're going to have. The basil, I'm going to plant it in around the tomatoes and the chilies like I did last year. And I'll just let it sit there for the season. It looks pretty, it smells nice. If we need it, we've got it for cooking and stuff. And at the end of the season, I may or may not be able to use that as foliage. So we're just going to see. The other thing I've been using is mint, and it is really nice. So I think I'd rather actually have a mint garden, which I know has its problems. Status. Not very good germination there. What have we got here? Maru and I planted some random things and I don't know what they are. One's sunflowers. I think one's Rebecca. I don't know what these two are because he hasn't labelled it. But these are sea holly. And we planted these 6 trays. They had 72 seeds in each tray except for this one. That would have had about 40. So 72, and that is the germination. Pretty terrible. I think they need to be planted a bit further apart, so that's one thing. We'll probably get half a row of that. And if I just keep it just for the sake of drying it, that's fine. I'm happy with that. We're still in that period where we're very tight on foliage. So it's something really good for us to be aware of next year, that the month is this? Like sort of mid-September to mid-October, we need to have something else in place for foliage for this time of year. And we should have our hothouses next year, so that's probably something we could be growing in our hothouses, some kind of foliage. So for people in other climates, that is early spring for us anyway. Early spring, pretty low on, that's my vegetable seeds. They're cranking along too. Yep, we need to figure this out. No, I won't show you that. We're not here. Well, you can leave me a comment. Do you like seeing the homesteading side of things here or no? So, otherwise I'll just keep it all to flowers. We still haven't done our tip runs, so there is a significant amount of junk just laying around everywhere and out in the paddock. We need to get it done soon because snake season is about to start. So the big tidy up is about to happen. I need to finish that shed ASAP because there's a lot of junk sitting on our veranda, just because we have nowhere to store it, and it's about to start getting hot too. So we need that flower shed so that we don't lose our, not lose our cut flowers, but they're gonna spoil faster because they need to be in a nice cool environment. How's it going?
Now it's low.
Yeah. Do you think the ground's going to be okay?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit cold. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you, and hello to the new subscribers. I hit 500, so that's great. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reaching 1,000 because then I can use that community, you know, I can post on the community. So we will see you next week. Bye. Okay, we're just leaving Shepparton. Can you hear this massive gun going off? We're at the orchards, and this is the gun that supposedly breaks up the hail in the clouds so it doesn't ruin the crops. Can you imagine living there? You can hear like, I'm gonna pull over, there's a car coming. You can hear like the wind. Anyway, bye.